This is Mr. Beck Does Your Homework, AP Physics, Homework 4.2, question number 3 and 4. An amusement park ride consists of a rotating circular platform, 9.07 meters in diameter, so that's the diameter here, from which 10 kilogram seats are suspended at the end of 1.2 meter massless chains. When the system rotates, the chains make an angle of 43.3 degrees with the vertical. So this angle here is 43.3 degrees. The acceleration of gravity is. What is the speed of each seat? So the only place speed shows up is that my force centripetal equals mv squared over r. So I know the mass. I don't know the force centripetal. I could figure out the radius, and that's what I'm going to have to do is figure out that radius. My radius is going to be from the center out to there, right? So what I'm dealing with is a triangle here that I know the angle, so I can figure out this portion of it, and then half of the diameter is going to add to that radius. So to get my radius, I've got two parts. One is going to be this component, which is going to be L times the sine of theta, right? So if I have L here, and I have part of R here, and this is theta, and I can do L sine theta to get my R. So it's going to be L sine theta plus half of my diameter plus d over 2. So for me, my radius is going to be a length of, let's see, 1.22 meter chains is what I've got. So I've got 1.22 times the sine of 43.3 degrees plus I've got 9.07 meter diameter. So that'd be 9.07 over 2. So that's going to give me my radius. I'll get some radius out of all of that. Now let's see what else I know. I'm looking for the speed. So I've got R. I know my mass. Well, what's my centripetal force going to be? So let's draw a free body diagram. I've got my, oops, I'm going backwards here. Free body diagram. I've got my tension in the chains here. So that's T, or Ft. I've got my force of gravity. Well, this tension can be split up into an x component and a y component. So this is going to be my force x, and this is going to be my force y. Normally, again, I wouldn't draw these on the same free body diagram, but I'm going to do my components instead of my tension, so I don't even need my tension now. So I've got y and x. What I know is that my force in the y direction has to balance out my force of gravity, and my force in the x direction is that unbalanced centripetal force that makes it go in a circle. So I know that if this were theta, and this were y, and this were x, then I know that the tangent of theta is going to be my x over y, fx over fy. So my fx is going to be fy tan theta. But the force x is centripetal, and the force y is gravity. So now I've got centripetal force is my gravitational force times the tan of theta. So let's look back up here again. I know that my Fc equals mv squared over r. I know Fc is also Fg tan theta, which is the same as mg tan theta, equals mv squared over r. I'll notice that the mass cancels out, so I don't care about the 10 kilogram seats. So I get g tan theta is v squared over r. So the speed is going to be the square root of rg tangent of theta. I know the radius because I added it up here. Gravity I know, and theta I know. So there is the velocity of each seat. The next question says, if a child mass 40.3 kilograms sits in the seat, what is the tension in the chain? So now I've got to find out the force of tension. Okay, so that's this one up here. Well, how do I figure out the force of tension? Is I'm going to need that triangle. I've kind of run out of space here, but I'm going to draw that triangle anywhere right here. So here is my tension that I'm looking for. Here is my force in the x direction, and here is my force in the y direction. I know that this y force has to balance out all the gravity. So now I've got a child of 40.3 kilograms sitting in the seat, and the seat is 10 kilograms already. So I know that my force y is going to be the total mass times gravity. So So for me, I've got 40.3 plus 10 is 50.3 times g. So that's my mass times the acceleration of gravity. So if I know that is this 50.3 times g, and I know this is 43.3 degrees, I can figure out what the tension is because, slide it over a little bit, because I know that the cosine of 43.3, the cosine of theta is going to be Fy over Ft, so Ft is going to be Fy over cosine theta, and the force of y is going to be the total mass times the acceleration of gravity, and the theta I know, so there is my force of tension in the chain.